Little Miss Blue Lips. That's a very strange title, but I thought that seemed appropriate, and I like things like that sound strange. I think they're kind of eye catching. Now, what inspired this drawing was I'd heard a story that in 1820 in the hills of West Virginia, there was a family found whose skin was blue, and it was caused by a very rare genetic condition. This name I cannot pronounce, but for those who really want to know, they can look it up. Just type in blue people of West Virginia. There may have even been some in Kentucky. I've heard both, but the article I read on Wikipedia and other the story I'd heard originally I think was about from West Virginia. But I just thought it was very interesting, a cool little story. Now the original people I don't think they was obviously wasn't near as ugly as this little creature is, but I just that's how I draw things. I draw them ugly. I think it's funner to look at that way. Which really the main reason I liked how this one came out so well is it kind of came out looking like these creatures from a comic book series that's my absolute favorite. It's called The Goon, and it's by Eric Powell. And in some of the later issues, there's these creatures. I'm trying to remember the name of them. I think they're called chug heads or chud heads. I think they're referred to as potato heads sometimes. But they're these weird little, kind of like gremlin-esque creatures that, escape and, wreak havoc on this town. And it's, so that's the reason I liked it so good, is when it came out, it kind of reminded me of those little things. And if anybody's not read The Goon by Eric Powell, you really, really need to check that out. Because I mean that's how my life is now. It's like my life before I read The Goon, and there's my life now after it. So like it's one of those comics. About 2 weeks ago, I had KFC chicken for my birthday, and it was really good. I hadn't had KFC in like a long time. And then when I was drawing this, I was like, it would be really cool if it was going after a chicken leg, because I was thinking about chicken when I drew this. I think about food a lot, but yeah. I was hoping for this channel to be mainly art centered. I mean, I could do some different stuff in the future, but mainly that's what I was really wanting to focus on was just, art, cool drawings, sharing different art. I mean, if anybody had any suggestions of something that, they would like to see me draw and post a video of, I would be down for that. I mean, I'm a huge fan of horror movies, so I could, totally do some of those. I've been thinking about doing one on Leatherface anyway. I've drawn Leatherface quite a few times, but every time it's always so difficult to draw Leatherface because it's like one of those things when you're drawing a zombie. It's like you think, oh, it's just a zombie, but then you have to get like the flesh to bone ratio. And with Leatherface, it's like I always picture Leatherface to draw a guy with a chainsaw, but then it's like, okay, you got to draw somebody wearing a face that's not theirs, and then you go to draw it, and that's pretty tricky. Because a lot of times it just comes out looking stupid and like, just like a big mess. So I've been meaning to do another one of him. But yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of different stuff like that I would be interested in doing. A few years ago, I went to see, it was free comic book day at this local comic book shop where I live that I go to all the time. And I'd drawn, they would have like artists there, like guest artists to come and, sit and draw stuff for people. And I had drew a lot of the characters from the Hills Have Eyes remake, like Pluto, Big Brain, Papa Jupiter. And I love drawing those. I really like to redo some of those. Nobody bought any of those. One guy bought Pluto. For those of you that don't know, Pluto's like in the original Hills Have Eyes. He was played by what was that actor's name? Michael Berryman. Um, but in the remake, I can't remember the actor's name. He looked way different. He was like he was the guy with the suit and had the axe and he was pretty cool looking. I drew him. There was one guy that came by and bought that one, but that was it. They were just like $3. But I'd be interested in maybe trying to redo some of those. A character I never hardly draw is Jason Voorhees, and it's not because I dislike him or think he looks uncool. I think the character looks awesome, especially throughout the different movies and what different, looks they gave him. But for me, I just have such a hard time when I sit down to draw him trying to make him look, different or, really stand out and pop. Some artists are fantastic at, stuff like that. For me, I just have a lot of trouble with Jason. I might could do like what was that one? What was that? Jason Goes to Hell. What was that? Friday the 13th Part 9. I loved how he was barely in that one. He was just in the beginning a little bit, then he got blew out of smithereens. And that one guy ate his heart, which was pretty weird. But anyway, I loved how he looked in that because his head was so swelled up, and it was just like his hockey mask just looked like just like a sticker and like a wad of gum that had been pressed in. That one looked pretty cool. I might could do that one. I tried to go in with the airbrush brush tool in some of these sections right here to give it a little bit more depth or a little bit more pop. I don't play with that much, but I was like, it would be cool. I kind of wanted this one to look a little bit more like I know what I'm doing. I don't, but I wanted the illusion to be there. A day or so ago, I think I'd put it in a short. It was a drawing of the fly I'd done a year or so ago. And I liked that one. I'd really like to redo that one. It was kind of like a mashup of the original Fly from like 58, I think, when the original one came out. And then it was from the sequel to the original one, which was Return of the Fly, which those are fantastic movies, but I would like to maybe do that one again. Maybe try the Cronenberg Fly too. A couple years ago, I had purchased the see what is this? The Blu-ray collection that Shout Factory released of all the Fly movies. It's a 5-disc set. It's fantastic. It has the 3 original ones: The Fly, Return of the Fly, The Curse of the Fly, and then the 2 kind of remakes, The Fly and The Fly 2. Those are amazing. I love The Fly. I have a Fly action figure from Mego Toys. It's very cool. I'm a very big nerd, in case you couldn't tell. And I've done ran off talking about horror movies and stupid stuff, and I didn't even talk about the drawing I was doing, but I felt like there's not much to say. I'm just coloring it, so yeah. I'm coloring the chicken leg now, trying to do some more line work on it. I feel like I could have done more with the chicken leg. It deserved more, but I was too concerned with a big old blue head. But I was mainly just wanting this to be kind of just like a chill, relaxed, laid back kind of, just people talking about stupid stuff, just living life. That's kind of the feel I was wanting to go for. So I wasn't wanting to go for nothing too serious, no way. Just talk about, movies I like, drawings I like, comics, all that cool stuff. I liked how the weird little, what do you want to call that, gown, dress I drew on her, the weird, little weird green polka dot thing. I thought it looked cool. I had trouble with clothes. I had trouble with a lot of things with my characters, but it's better than nothing, I suppose. I liked how it came out. Overall, this one was probably my favorite one I've uploaded to YouTube so far. I think it came out closest to what I had intended. As odd as that is to say, I thought it came out pretty good. But if anyone has any feedback they'd like to tell me, things they want me to improve on, I think they think I need to work on, feel free to tell me. Because I'm very new to this and have, no real idea or direction where I want to take this. But I want to do something cool with it. And yes, again, I'm adding more saliva because I really like adding saliva to my drawings. Like they're really drooling. I don't know what that says, if they're not that bright or they just. Usually I'm always tempting them with food, so I guess it's not their fault, it's mine. But it looks like we're almost at the end of the video, so please subscribe. I have a pug to feed. That would be greatly appreciated. And hopefully I'll be back with some cool new characters. I'll see you guys later.